Okay, David, so a 2-1 defeat against Kidsgrove today, a really difficult game to play, your game that you like your team to play.
It was. The pitch wasn't great. The conditions weren't great. Kidsgrove are a side who play to their strengths. They get the ball forward and ask questions early, and they break. They're very good at breaking the play down. With a referee who was happy to let them do that, but we weren't good enough. If you know you can't play, and we talked about this in there. If you know you can't play, if you know you haven't got the right surface, you've got to ask different questions. And most of our threats came today from early balls forward. We got quite a lot of joy with balls that were being flicked on, and Mason got in behind once, and 𝙍𝙤𝙨-𝙈𝙖𝙩 got in behind. Sean got one just after he came on, but we didn't do that enough. We didn't ask enough questions, and there was one at the end which summed it up where Tom picked up a long clearance and bowled it out to 𝙍𝙤𝙨. We're down to 10 men, and you're asking 𝙍𝙤𝙨, who's on his left foot then, to deal with a bouncing ball and take a touch and try and play. And yes, that's great and it looks nice, and we're good at it when the conditions are right. But we have to adapt to the plan B and ask different questions, and we just weren't good enough at doing that today.
And an update on the squad today, because obviously we've got a few sat on the bench on the sidelines, and then we've added another 2 to that in the first half.
It's becoming a problem. It's a real problem. Been working hard to try and bring things in. I think for all that the small squad has been a real strength for a long part of this season. I think it's now becoming a real hindrance to our success, and some of that rests with me. There are certain things that are outside of my control, so we've agreed a loan for a player to come in, but the club weren't happy for him to come until Monday because they needed him for a game today, which happens. But we've tried to get other players in. There's agents I'm speaking to. We signed a couple of players. We're waiting for international clearance. So in training we look okay, but actually when you take out the ones who aren't eligible and lads carrying knocks and other things, we haven't got the depth. That being said, you can only use 3 subs. And the 3 I had on the bench today were perfectly capable of starting in the Northern Premier League. Jordan Butterworth, 𝙍𝙗𝙨. Jordan's played most of the games this season. 𝙍𝙗𝙨, I thought he did well when he came on in an unfamiliar position, and Sean's stepping up to this level. But I thought he's exciting. I thought he caused problems and asked questions. So the 3 that we had should have been good enough for the 11 that started. I thought we got unlucky with the timing of injuries today. It impacted us, but we need to get more bodies in. We really do need to get bodies in, and the challenge is getting the right quality at this stage of the season. It's proving tough, but certainly something to think about for next year in terms of squad management and getting making sure we've got enough people, enough depth that we can manage situations like this.
9 games left. How many do we need to win?
I think 8. I thought it was 8 before today, and I think this is a great opportunity that's passed us by. 4 weeks ago I said this was in our hands, and it was, and it's now very much out of our hands. We've got to ask a lot of ourselves. We've got 9 games left. We've got Macclesfield at home and Leek away in that, and I think we need 8 wins. We've also got Prescott next week. That's a tough place to go. We're in a terrible run of form. If you look at the last 5 games, we picked up 2 points. We've got Prescott and Leek as the next 2, both away. Both very difficult places to go to. The atmosphere is flat, understandably, after the game. It's difficult to know exactly what to change or how we redress the problems we've got, the shortcomings we've had. I'm hoping that a bit of injection in your blood this week might just be enough to get a bit of change in fortune and stimulate things a little bit, because we've got to go pick up 3 points next week, I think, to have any chance.
So I was just going to mention before about Prescott next and then Leek after that. How big are those 2 games that they define the rest of the season for us?
I think next week does. I think I've just said that. I think we need to win 8 out of 9. Any time of the year, no matter how you're doing, you would take a point away at Leek. Therefore, that's a huge ask to go there and pick up 3 points. They're a good side and they're in good form and they're very good at home. So if we don't go pick up 3 points next week, I think that leaves us needing 8 from 8, and I think that's probably too much to ask. The worry is that the season's just petering out, and the way things are at the moment, the way things are going, look, application, attitude. I think it's a combination of all those things. It means we're not picking up results. We're 17th in the form table, and the season could peter out, and we could easily see a bit of a repeat of last season and finish in 8th or 9th and well adrift of the playoffs. A win next week, an injection of a couple of new players, freshen things up a bit, might just give us a bit of a lift going into the league. If we can then get something there, that's huge. But I think it hinges on next week, and Prescott away is a tough place to go. They're a good side, and they have probably as much ambition as we do at the moment of trying to sneak into the playoffs. So it's certainly going to be a difficult game.
Thanks, David.
Cheers, Nathan.